Hai, welcome to Kremes Podcast.
Podcast yang paling receh and garing, but maybe informative too, depending on the day.
I'm T.
And I'm A,
Semoga podcast ini bisa nemenin lo.
and hope you enjoy the episode. Hello guys, welcome back to another Kremes Podcast. Hari ini different banget. Hari ini pertama kalinya me and T are actually recording in the same place.
Yes, honestly it took us like a good, berapa ya? How many months?
Dari Mei ya?
From
kita.
May.
Gila itu udah 7-8 bulan kali.
8 bulanan
7 to
ya.
8 months.
I mean like even with COVID and everything, like because we're in Perth, like we could have met
Yeah.
and done a recording
That is true.
together a lot sooner. But it's just one of those,
Yeah.
you know, fortuitous moments when A and I are actually working in the same place.
Yes, this is so crazy. We're actually working in the same place right now, but also at the same time, this kind of a little bit of background juga buat kalian kalau misalnya yes we do have our daily job kayak day to day job.
Yes.
Makanya kayak susah banget untuk ketemu one on one, tapi kita biasanya lewat telepon atau recording separately. But yeah, today kita mau lanjutin lagi tentang career advice series kita, karena banyak banget juga yang suka dan juga hopefully kebantu dengan apa yang kita udah berikan sebelumnya tentang resume, tentang interview. Jadi kalau misalkan kalian mau cek itu, kalian bisa cek itu di YouTube kita atau di Spotify, karena everything is there. But today we want to talk about assessment center. Jadi kalau assessment center itu, I'm not too sure if all job have it, tapi kita kita for sure know that maybe finance around consultancy and stuff like that do have assessment center, dan juga untuk engineers we do have assessment center, tapi ini berlaku di Australia mostly. I think I'm not too sure. I think Indo mungkin gak ada ya.
Tergantung kayaknya.
Tergantung company,
Iya,
iya.
tergantung company-nya. Karena gue ada temen yang some of them do it, some of them don't. Because also aside from assessment center kan, karena ini kita harus asumsi sebelum kita lanjut lagi, assessment center itu yang kayak lu datang in person to the company or to the office and do a bunch of different tests.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the friends that I have in Indo, they only do everything online, which is like an online assessment test.
Yeah.
And I guess that's also like something that we'll touch on later. It's just like there's like two separate parts to it. Kalau
Yeah,
di Aussie
exactly.
ya, kalau tempat lain kurang tahu gitu.
Iya, benar banget. Jadi ya untuk to just start disclaimer aja. Jadi kalian tetap harus cek aja company kalian yang kalian mau apply itu do it or not. Dan juga ya maybe sekarang udah different dengan time changes juga kan. Kalau misalnya dulu orang tua kita cuma perlu datang bawa resume mereka, interview, sekarang udah banyak banget hal-hal lain gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya just to give you guys a big view atau garis besarnya, kita biasanya tuh apply online ya kalau di Australia.
yeah.
Kita apply online through the system that they have, website mereka. Terus udah kayak gitu, kita nunggu sampai kita dapat email dari mereka untuk do some online quizzes. Jadi itu bisa IQ quizzes atau bisa kayak cuma pertanyaan biasa tentang apa yang kalian lakuin on day-to-day time, what do you do on your like free time, but also could be technical. Nah dari situ mereka minta kita untuk video interview. Jadi mereka we have to record ourselves answering questions and stuff like that. Nah tahap terakhirnya baru assessment center. Biasa assessment center juga barengan ada group session dan ada individual session. Tips-tips kita yang udah kita kasih tentang resume interview, you guys can use it until up to maybe before assessment center. Karena be prepared and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nah, sedangkan assessment center itu yang kata T bilang tadi, usually it's a group activity. Jadi kalian barengan sama orang-orang lain yang juga udah apply. Karena usually they wanna see about your how do you work with people? Gimana cara lu kerjasama? Lu bisa nggak kerjasama sama orang lain? Apa kalian lebih dominan? Atau kalian cuma lebih submissive? Atau kalian orang yang inisiatif gak? Jadi like there's a lot of those things that they wanna see. Tapi mostly they wanna see how you work with team. But also the interview section comes afterward is to see how you are personally, like your technical skills, how smart or how well spoken you are, or your experience and stuff like that. Tapi kayaknya T bakal ngejelasin lebih lanjut lagi tentang why so many employers now, especially in Australia, use assessment center for graduate recruitment.
Yeah, karena kebanyakan kan assessment center is literally a very like handy process for companies to, like A said, get to know you better as an individual, because so far kan their relationship with you has been through your responses from an online form, or like A said, through your online video responses. Now sometimes juga companies don't require you to do an online interview first. Sometimes it's just the online application, your resume, your CV, your documents, and then your online like psychometric analysis tests gitu. So they don't actually get to know you in person and see you working in a team, as well as seeing how you adapt and deal with like real workplace scenarios until the assessment center. Jadi it's like a useful tool, especially for like mid to larger employer companies. And it's like, you know, like for us, we're in like the professional field. Also like the military even uses it apparently. So like, you know, it enables the employer to compare a group of candidates with each other. So like, unfortunately, the reality is you are competing against other people that you see in the assessment center. Jadi gue pernah, like from my experience, gue datang ke assessment center, I got to work with this like girl that I've never met before, but we were in a group project, and like she's super, super nice. And like we worked so well together, tapi it just dawned on me that like we might not actually be colleagues, right?
Yeah,
like, I felt like she
true.
was like more than qualified to join the company. But then it just sadly dawned on me that it's like, no, I'm competing against her.
Yeah.
Like it's a bit hard to like swallow.
Yeah.
An assessment center can also be like mapped across multiple competencies. Jadi kayak kalau the role that you're applying for applies to like has various companies or has various departments gitu, and they do a lot of collaborative work. Assessment centers are great for understanding, you know, your strengths, your weaknesses, and how well you can adapt to different areas.
Yeah.
And then usually satu assessment center itu kayak antara setengah hari atau even like one whole day, and it's a bunch of different activities in one.
That's true.
So these multiple activities provide like an opportunity to see a candidate, how they work and how they adapt to a range of situations and formats with different people. And like I said, like usually it's like a pretty close to real workplace scenario.
Yeah, benar.
So it provides that employer, also the candidate, a good opportunity to really understand if it's something for them. Both from like the company and the candidate's perspective.
Yeah.
As in like, you know, like, is this the right job for you? And that kind of thing. So essentially like how you're being assessed is you're technically assessed from the moment you walk in. Hey, like even if you don't meet your assessor just yet, like you just go to the reception, then lu bilang, oh, I'm here for my assessment center. You're pretty much got to be like on your A game from that moment.
Great.
And they just pretty much assess you both from like, you know, like the obvious stuff, but also like the subtle things.
That's
like
true.
how you behave, like, you know, when you're having tea or like coffee and tea during the breaks gitu kan, to like the actual staff. And there's usually a bunch of activities and you can like add in, but from my experience, what we did was we just did like the first session was just an icebreaker.
Yeah.
It was very casual.
Same.
It was just like a whole bunch of us getting to know each other. It was meant to be more relaxing. So just karena kan pasti kan when you guys come in kan pasti very nervous moment, right? So just a moment to like calm everyone down and just casually get to know each other. Abis itu sih tergantung company-nya ya, but for me we had a group leadership session where kita harus istilahnya we are like all board members of a company, and we have to make this like tricky decision, and then so we got like 30 minutes to discuss as a group how we would like action it, and then we presented it basically. And then other like different tasks is like a manager or a senior person from that company might actually come in and facilitate a workshop and get you to like see how you respond. Or you know, you do other like fun activities. Jadi it's a blend of like lebih formal, beneran kayak kerja scenario. Okay, kalau ada masalah ini, how would you react to it? To more fun activities like building a tower from like spaghetti, dried spaghetti and marshmallows gitu. Jadi kayak it's a whole blend of different things to see how you work individually, and then how you work as a group as well. Because I think so far, see, like when I do my assessment center stuff, they assess me based on my individual initiative to like, how am I going to be the leader in the group and drive the problem solving, or am I going to
Yeah.
be the backseat person but takes notes and make sure that we're all a good team, and then the different kinds of things. And then the only other thing that I want to mention is the case study. Usually, because I'm in consulting, what we get given is an actual case study, and we have to like imagine that that's our client. As a project manager, develop the project timeline from start to finish, basically, and then we have to like map it all out. So that's from my perspective. How about you?
Iya sih, enggak sih, gue juga mirip-mirip gitu sama Teh. Jadi kayak kalau gue, during the process of applying for jobs, I apply for a lot of jobs. Jadi banyak banget experience-nya. Tapi kayak sama, pertama pasti icebreaker dulu, kayak get to know your team, timnya siapa. Karena kan usually kita nggak pernah ketemu orang-orang ini gitu. Karena ya maksudnya Perth juga gede dan kayak our cohort is actually big. Kalau gue speak in response of engineering kali ya. Pertama pasti icebreaker, and then there's the group project stuff as well. Tapi mungkin bedanya sama Teh, punya kita lebih ke teamwork in a sense, because karena dari awal almost all of them have the building something. So kayak kita harus build tower, atau kita harus kayak mostly is build tower, tapi kayak mungkin pakai blocks atau pakai paper atau pakai spaghetti and stuff like that gitu. Karena mereka pengen lihat banyak hal dalam situ gitu. Mereka pengen lihat project management kita. Mereka pengen lihat kayak, oke, kalau misalnya kamu emang teknik sipil, bisa nggak kamu bikin ini? Tahu nggak kamu backgroundnya dari mana? Misalnya kayak kalau bentuk segitiga itu lebih kuat atau gitu-gitu, kayak sesuatu yang lebih technical gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya kamu mechanical, kamu tahu nggak gini-gini atau nggak? Mereka juga definitely pengen lihat banget. Mostly especially for engineering, they wanna see how good you are with safety. Karena itu tuh benar-benar di ngobrolin setiap hari, even until we're actually in the workforce, mereka tuh pasti ngomong tentang safety. Dan jadi di situ dilihat kayak misalnya kalian pakai gloves gak? Cause sometimes they make like so many like scenarios gitu loh, kalau misalnya ternyata blok ini tuh sebenarnya barang yang nggak boleh kena kulit gitu, dan mereka benar-benar perhatiin itu gitu, gengs. Jadi mereka pakai gloves segala macam. Terus nanti kalau misalnya ada orang yang seharusnya nggak boleh ada di tape-nya, ada di situ, kalian bisa kena denda ceritanya gitu. Jadi kayak there's a lot of that, but also most of the stuff we have to like buy the equipment, like the tower blocks and stuff to make the highest tower. So that also like teach us like the pricing, teach us how we budget our money and stuff like that. Jadi kayak mereka pengen ngeliat overall aja gitu, dan kayak apa yang Teh bilang benar gitu. Maksudnya kita dilihat gak cuma technical skills, tapi juga mereka mau lihat kita soft skills gitu. Apakah kamu bisa jadi leader, apakah kamu bisa jadi orang yang kerja di tim gitu. Dan unfortunately, even though we're competing with each other, sometimes ada orang yang benar kiasu gitu loh, kayak beneran pengen menang atau pengen dapet, malah itu tuh yang merusak image mereka gitu. Karena mereka dianggap lu ngikut orang lain gitu, you're just like, I don't know how to say it in English, kayak nyikut gitu loh, kayak you just battle with them gitu. Padahal kan harusnya you work as a team gitu. You should want like other people to be successful as well gitu. Tapi itu overall sih apa yang kita pikir ya Teh, tentang assessment center dan experience kita. Dan oleh sebab itu, sebagai cici-cici yang selalu ada di sini, kita mau kasih tips and tricks dari posisi kita sendiri sih, dari rekomendasi kita aja. Ini yang kita udah alamin, dan ini yang dari kayak assessment 1 nggak bisa gini, terakhir assessment terakhirnya kita udah bisa sampai reach this level, I guess. Kalau menurut gua sih, pertama-tama pasti harus tahu what to expect. Jadi kayak kalian dengerin podcast ini, atau kalian go YouTube, like just search it Google and stuff like that, what to expect from assessment center. That will be the best case, ya nggak Teh? Soalnya kayak kita, kalau misalnya lo datang mikirnya kayak, kita bakal interview satu-satu aja, bakal shock gitu. Ternyata kita ada tim. Ternyata di timnya kita nggak bisa milih sendiri. Gini-gini. Nanti malah kalian jadi flustered, dan kalian juga jadi bingung gitu. Dan apa yang kalian udah pelajari nih tentang interview, tentang company-nya, mungkin malah jadi bisa blank gara-gara kalian ketemu orang-orang lain. Dan jujur aja ini pengalaman pribadi aku sih. Waktu pertama kali aku ikut assessment center, there's this guy that was so good. Like he was such a chemical engineer. He knows his chemical and stuff like that. Then I got thrown off gitu loh. Kayak gue jadi blank gitu. Karena dia waktu ditanya tentang case study gitu, dia langsung jawab, karena komposisi C4 apa gitu tuh nggak boleh kena human body gini-gini. Itu tuh really poisonous gitu-gitu. Dan kayak that's really good because everyone else is looking at him, right? Tapi gue yang nggak punya background itu, gue jadi got thrown off. Padahal I can still talk about safety. I can still talk about other soft skill. I can still talk about money. I can still talk about so many other things gitu kan. Tapi ngeblank karena dianya udah dapet poin yang sangat bagus gitu. Padahal harusnya kalau kita udah tahu what to expect, kita bisa play to our strength gitu kan. Kayak even though I don't know about the substance, gue nggak pernah kerja oil and gas and stuff like that, tapi gue bisa tahu kalau safety always come first. Jadi gue bisa stand up or like talk about safety gitu. Tapi what do you think about that?
Jadi kayak untuk like the example that you gave, beneran kayak you know, walaupun there is one person's, I guess, strong suit, lu harusnya bisa muter to your advantage too, I guess, like try to like think out of the box, and or at least, you know, if you Google or if you YouTube or if you at least just read a couple of tips online before you go in, you'll know what to roughly expect because there'll be like, you know, people and like, you know, you know to expect the different types of people that will show up in the assessment center. And ultimately, it's not a time for you to make friends, unfortunately. It's time for you to, you know, get the job. But I would say like my biggest tip as well is to obviously research the company. Obviously, when you've made it up to the point of the assessment center, you probably know the company already quite well, which is good. But obviously read the info about the assessment center specifically, including jam berapa lu harus datang, lokasinya, and obviously come early so that you're prepared. And you know, obviously like, you know, understand what the day is going to be about. Because they should tell you, right? For me, I had a whole bunch of assessment center activities, and then at the end, I had a one-on-one interview. So the interview was actually combined as part of the assessment center day. So I just had to get prepared mentally that okay, there will be a whole bunch of teamwork and like simulation activities to do, plus I have to prepare my interview. So that was just a bit of something that I had to just know from the back of my mind, right? Also like brush up on, you know, if you need to have an interview too, brush up on that technique as well. Kita udah ada episode tentang interview tips. I think it was part 2 of this one, so you guys can refer to that one. And even just practice. So like in A's case, kan A was able to do a bunch of assessment centers, and that obviously like helped her refine her skills and that kind of thing. I've only been part of one assessment center, and I must say when I went in, I really did not expect, like I did not have any expectations because I've never been part of one. So I think I would have benefited speaking to someone who's been through it before, or at least just get them to share their pengalaman, and then just, you know, like practice with each other gitu kan. If your like assessment center involves a presentation aspect or any other form of aptitude testing, Google's your best friend. Like literally Google tips and tricks from there. Your presentation, you know, practice on, you know, some public speaking skills. But essentially it's meant to be a time for you to obviously have fun if you can. But also it's something that you're meant to enjoy, right? Karena beneran kalau kalian stress banget and you don't really find a lot of enjoyment preparing before the day, experiencing the actual day, like by the end of the day, if you feel so exhausted but in a bad way, it's actually an indicator that maybe this job is not suited for you, you know, like tapi there's so many times when, karena kan gua sama A kan baru selesai kuliah, we were so pressured to find a job that we get sometimes kind of desperate, like any job will do, like as long as I just need a job, you know, like, and for me I guess, and maybe for A as well, we have the Asian parental pressure as well to find a job right straight after uni. So I find that a lot of us fall victim to like pokoknya dapat satu aja lah gitu, udah bersyukur gitu, that's it, right? But it might not be something that you're actually interested or enjoying. So it's always good to sort of reflect, you know, introspeksi diri sendiri, apakah this is the right career for you? Because if it's not, then that's totally okay as well, I think. And I think it's like, you know, just be yourself.
That's true.
Because ultimately they want to hire you for you. You shouldn't feel the need to put up a persona yang kayak oh ya gue emang bisa kiasu gitu lah, I'm gonna like, you know, I'm definitely a driver, I can take leadership and everything, when you're more of maybe like an analytical person, or you're more of like a person of action but you keep quiet but you're still a good team member, you know. And that's has its equal strengths as, you know, a more extroverted person. And nowadays companies kan banyak kan appreciate the diversity in their like resource pool.
Yeah.
So if you know you're not a big extroverted go-getter,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that as well.
Exactly,
I think. Yeah.
I think nah it's true. Kayak beneran kita harus stay true to ourselves sih, karena maksudnya even though kayak kita pasti pengen banget your performance will naturally be at the forefront of your mind, right? Tapi it is important to support and like encourage your other candidates as well, karena itu bakal kelihatan gitu kayak kalau misalnya ini beneran tim kamu, apakah kamu bakal support mereka atau kamu bakal cuma pengen menang sendiri gitu, atau kamu pengen cuman just be yourself. And I think if you are really genuinely a nice person in that sense, or like you genuinely like to encourage other people, like that is not technically a bad thing as well. And I don't know if I have talked about this in this meeting or I just talked to T about it, but like for me personally, I was given the advice from one of the coach that I have is that like you can't change who you are in a lot of sense. Jadi kayak misalnya ya sok kamu bisa gitu pretend to be kayak extrovert segala macam gitu, tapi it will come out like it's a whole day, like there will be time where you're just gonna be quiet and it will show malah lebih drastis gitu loh, karena kalian bedanya beda banget gitu, karena it was a fake person and it was a real person, right? Dan tapi juga menurut mereka, kalau gue mikir kayak gue yang kayak apakah gue terlalu kekanak-kanakan atau gue terlalu excited about things, my coach was like telling me that no, you should own it. Kayak maksudnya kayak okay, kalau misalnya emang gue tipenya yang semangat, yang selalu excited about little things and stuff like that, I should just keep being myself. Kenapa? Karena nanti orang-orangnya bakal ngeliat lebih ke, mereka bakal nyadar gitu kayak mereka konotasinya bukan bakal kayak si A kanak-kanakannya gitu. No, but they will think about it, like if I see A like this, that means she's excited about something. And that actually works on your favor. Karena kalau misalnya nanti kita beneran kepilih, atau misalnya nanti kita go to the next station, atau kita do the next projects, they can see how enthusiastic you are with the project, and they're like, that's good, I trusting it with the right person because she clearly love it, Jadi kalau percuma kita pretend, siapa tahu kalau misalnya apalagi assessment center kita nggak pernah tahu ya, misalnya kayak biasa tuh mereka bisa sampai beberapa I have been in an assessment center yang kayak bareng sama orang mechanical, bareng sama sipil, bareng sama electrical gitu-gitu. Dan kalau misalnya kalian benar-benar excited about something, misalnya kalian backgroundnya electrical, tapi kalian excited about sipil gitu, padahal itu bukan bidang kalian dan kalian itu lagi faking karena kalian cuma pengen kelihatan bagus. Malah kalian mungkin gak dapet role yang kalian mau gitu, karena mereka cari lagi mikirin kayak beberapa kan tesnya tuh biasa tuh nggak cuma satu orang yang di dalam ruangan, biasa tuh ada 5 orang lebih gitu. Dan kalau misalnya kayak gitu, misalnya ternyata si A tuh emang tipe orang yang cari electrical nih, dia datang ke assessment center untuk jadi judging untuk siapa yang bakal join electrical team dia gitu. Tapi because you act so enthusiastic atau so leadership or so like on a different topic, he or she would probably think like, actually never mind, this person is not on electrical, this person is probably a civil gitu loh, kayak kalian malah jadi mungkin aja bisa jadi ada miss gap atau miscommunication sama judging kalian. Tapi kalau kalian be true to yourself, speak on your forte, you know your stuff, like you know what you know about electrical, you can talk ages about it, then that would actually be more beneficial for you. I think
I think at the end of the day is like be authentic, be yourself, obviously be professional,
exactly,
but like just it's ultimately just a time for you as well as the employer to see how you work within that scenario, within the office, the work scenario that you will potentially be working for many times if you get the job gitu kan. And then so basically after the assessment center, for me sih, karena my interview one-on-one with like the bosses happened straight after, after that day, I get the notification if I get the job or not.
I see.
And it depends on the different company, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes after the assessment center, baru mereka ngundang lu untuk interview or like final, whatever final stage assessment you have to do gitu lah. But assessment center is usually one of the last things that you do. Before you like say, yep, you got the job, or no, you didn't get the job gitu.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's pretty much, a brief rundown of assessment centers. Obviously, there's the whole like online assessment tests that happen usually before the assessment center or AC, and that's more of like online aptitude testing, behavioral tests. They usually give you like different kinds of scenarios, and you have to like multiple choice answer, decide which one is the best way that you would react to those situations, or more like on a scale of like completely agree or completely disagree, like how are you when you are in terms of behavior, like or like when there is a problem at the factory, are you the one that's usually gonna like take the initiative and report it to the boss, or try to fix it yourself first before reporting to anyone? That kind of situational questions, as well as those really like ones that I kind of quite enjoy actually, like you get like a pattern or like a set of like random patterns, and you have to like choose what the next one in the sequence is, or those different kinds of things. So it's more like numerical, behavioral, psychological tests. But that's all, that stuff is usually like straight after you submit your online application and you want to proceed to the next stage. So different companies do it differently, obviously. Definitely. So do your research and make sure you just read everything they give you. There might be a lot of stuff, but it's really important that you read through it carefully so you know what you have to do and you know what's expected. But otherwise, all the best for those who are going through the job recruitment phase. When you're about to do an assessment center, just take a deep breath, be yourself, and just try to have fun. But that's like sort of, I guess, from my perspective.
No, I agree. Jadi buat kalian semua, hopefully it's not too fast that we talk about it today. Kalian bisa pause at any moment, and you can always send us DMs if you have any questions. We're more than happy to help. In summary, always prepare. That means preparing yourself, preparing what's gonna happen, arriving in earlier time, because believe me, I have been in a position where I arrive in a different address as well, and we have to run. So just arriving on time, give you time and give them time to know that you he or she are on time. He or she do value this opportunity, do value this interview. It only can bring good benefits to you. And I think, just always, even though our parents tell us this all the time, be polite, be friendly, like that's to everyone you meet. And even during the group exercise itself, you just be yourself and just be the nice person that you are, I guess. But also I think what I would like to say that we haven't touched on is, if you do make a mistake, don't worry too much about it, because at the same time they're not looking for a perfect person. There would not be a perfect person, but if you have a mistake and you are able to own it, and just even like simple things, like for example you're gonna say I don't know, like you're gonna say the tower, but instead you say a building, and you're like, oh sorry, I mean the tower. Like just do what you would do anyway if you make a mistake. Like they're not looking for someone that is so perfect, but also at the same time you can just move on quickly and accept the mistake and just kind of get going, because they know that it will happen. They don't expect you to know everything, and don't beat yourself too hard for it as well.
I think even also, just quickly to add, even if it's like a bigger mistake, instead of just saying like the wrong word, or even like, because when I was doing my assessment center for a case study, I had to create a whole big project schedule, and we're bikin kesalahan in like one tiny activity, and like a schedule is like connected, right? Like if you guys know what a Gantt chart is, basically it's like a timeline and they're all interconnected. And I made one kind of like silly mistake in like one middle activity that literally affect the entire schedule. So I had to kind of like redo it. But it's like, I felt so embarrassed, because like, oh no, like, I have to redo everything, and I feel like an idiot. But I'm like, I ultimately obviously had to acknowledge that I made the mistake, and then I just tried to move on. I think in that way it was a lot better I did that than actually like try and like fake it and like just go with it, because it might actually like, make the like result worse. So I think as long as you acknowledge that it was a mistake and then just try to like adapt to it, they would appreciate that a lot more than you trying to like fake it till you make it kind of thing.
And like as always, like remember that you have gone through this far already. You already gone to the assessment center. You are so close to getting an offer of a job. They already obviously love you like to that point, you know what I mean? So just do your best. Being you has worked so far. You have gone to that level. And I guess a small reminder as well, we're coming up to February and March where all applications are open for grads, especially. So if you're a graduate in Australia and you're applying for a job next year, it's gonna be opening soon. Just be ready for it. Write down, make an Excel spreadsheet if you need to. That's what I did. Of all the company that you want to apply for, what are they like, what their industry is, when is their due date for application, and just get it in first. Because a lot of company also do first in first serve situation. So once they reach the quota, they will close it even though it's not closing time. So don't leave it to last minute. This is the only year that you will have to work your hardest in terms of like applications and stuff like that. You probably only have like this chance kind of once in a sense to be the same with your cohort. Of course there will be other chance next year or the year before and stuff like that, but this year is like just do your hardest work and and party hard later. And don't worry so much because usually they do take time before they call you for assessment center. There are so many steps in between. So don't get discouraged if you haven't heard from them. Just keep positive note as well and keep applying to different things. Usually mine, from my experience, was February. I applied for a lot of things and I only get to assessment center during May. In between there was video interview, filling up application forms, writing down my resume, sending it out and stuff like that. And I didn't get any offers until June or July. So yeah, keep it positive, keep it open-minded. Sometimes no news is a good news, pray about it, think about it, meditate about it, prepare yourself, prepare your research as well. As always, let us know if you like this type of episode. Let us know if you want to know more about it, what part of career that you want to know. And since we already covered how to get a career serious situation, we might talk more about what happened. How to keep your job, what to do when you are in the situation or when you are first get into the workplace maybe. How do you deal with rotations? How do you deal with promotions? How do you deal about work-life balance? There are so many else that we're just figuring out like last year. So it's truly fresh and we're literally giving it from our perspective. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye guys.
Thank you for listening.
Jangan lupa like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends.
I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out with your comments, stories, and even questions on what we should talk about. See you in the next episode.
Bye. Dah.